Every so often, for quite a while now, my friend Wayne will mention the Moonstone game. And I was vaguely aware that it was a fantasy miniatures game, but that's all I knew. I knew that Wayne liked it very much. I think he said that he's got every figure that you can get from it. All right. And that's how it has been for, if it won a game award in 2023. It's been out 2 years, so maybe he's been talking about it for two years. I don't know, and that's how it's always been. But this weekend, there's been here in the UK a games expo con, which I kept seeing feedback from and reports on, because the Trench Crusade guys were there, right? And so I was just scrolling through and looking at them. And here's the crucial point. I was aware of the game, but I hadn't seen the miniatures, all right? And then I started seeing the miniatures that were being revealed at the convention, the new set of figures, the new release, the new generation of figures, okay? And it's like, ooh, these are very interesting because, number one, I'm a big fantasy fan, and I adore the film Legend for the creatures, and I've also got a YouTube channel and a Facebook page devoted to folklore, fairy tales, myths, and legends, because I grew up with them. And as much as I'm enjoying doing Trench Crusade, this, and also, Age of Sigmar over at Games Workshop, the miniatures in this game look far more like the fairy tale characters from my youth, all right? And I can show you here, because look, if you look at these, Beaky Bobby, Vicious Sid, Doug the Flatulent, Grub, this is giving off so many vibes from Labyrinth, or Legend, as me, as a squire, Baron Von Fancyhat, Flintlock, Friar Flavius, and they look really, really interesting. These are, these look very much like, characters out of my old children's books from when I was little. And I thought, well, why not? Why not have a go? So, yeah, I mentioned it to my friend Wayne and Josh, and they've kind of like inadvertently tempted me and pushed me over the edge. I said I wasn't going to start it, but I've given in. And I thought, yeah, the painting challenge of these figures, because everything is bright, everything is bright and colourful. It'll be a nice contrast to what I'm doing with Trench Crusade. All right. And so, yeah, I've gone ahead. This is Dusk Till Dawn 2-player starter set. And there's a number of starter sets you can get, all with the miniatures that you need. So this is an unboxing. I've had a brief look online to how to play the game, and it seems kind of interesting and quite simple. It's card based. It says here, tabletop skirmish game for 2 to 4 players, uses unique card mechanics where players predict, misdirect, and bluff their way to victory. And from what I can see from the games I've watched, you've basically got to overnight steal or get as many moonstones as you can to take to the city to sell to the wizard. That's your objective. It's not killing or anything like that. It's all quite fun and quite silly. All right. This is nifty. This is the measuring template: 1 inch, 4 inch, 3 inch, 2 inch. It's kind of nifty. Oh, these are energy counters, aren't they? These are your energy counters that you need. Not quite sure. Oh, that's the rule book, of course. Then we've got Dusk Till Dawn. I guess these are the miniatures, are they? Yep, looks like it. I've seen people, I've had a look and just seen how people are going about, you know, painting them and that. And some people have said that the makers of the game recommend you do wash them before gluing them and painting them, but not to use washing up liquid because of it might leave behind a sticky residue, and use toothpaste instead. Well, cool, he's smart. Look at him. And him. I don't know about that. I don't think I'd want to wash things with toothpaste. I think, if anything, you're going to leave a chalky residue behind. Washing up liquid is fine as long as you don't put too much in, and you really thoroughly wash it afterwards in hot water. So they're good. They're good. Have you got any more? Oh, that's the game deck. More bags, so it must mean more figures. Nope, bases and dice. Yeah, these are the Moonstones. It's a 4-sided dice. You throw them up in the air, and whichever number down lands face upwards. That's how underground Moonstones are. And that's the stats for all the characters. I'm not quite sure about this. I don't know if some of these characters are exclusive to this starter set. I know you can get, you know, expansion figure sets, and it looks like I'll be getting them, because these do look an awful lot of fun. They're not too small. They're not too big. They are what? They're slightly bigger than Games Workshop, which is 28mm. They might be 32. They might be 32mm. So yeah, I'm going to take these out, snip them off their sprues, give them a good wash, glue them together, prime them. As I say, I'm completely ignorant on this game. I see a lot of people have some brilliant scenery and buildings and stuff like that. I don't know where they're getting them from. Some of them look like they're resin models, and some of them look like they're like card models. I don't know, I've got to look into that as well. Or I could just ask Wayne, I suppose, he will know. All right, so let's get these out of the bags, have a bit of snipping, have a bit of washing, have a bit of gluing, and I will return. So I've decided to do the humans first. If you follow my Age of Sigmar videos, you'll know that I have a leaning towards the goblins and the trolls. So I'm saving out of this starter deck the best characters till last. These are good fun, but you know, I'm a more of a goblin person. You see what I mean? So yeah, gave them all a wash. It's a real blast from the past to have slotter bases, and the stand that goes into the slot actually has the name on it. That takes me right back to the late 80s. So, and how refreshing. I mean, I'm really enjoying doing Trench Crusade, and I'm enjoying the difference of painting colourful, but also to have old school resin. This isn't 3D printed, this is regular resin. No cleanup needed. They just needed snipping off their sprues, gave them a wash, and they glued together very easily with super glue. Well, he did, right? So that's him. My namesake is has a backpack blue tacked in place. He had two arms joined at the sword, so it's just a case of sticking them on. Oh, by the way, the friar, he just had the left arm you glue in place and just position it so it is whatever that is in his right hand, right? Eric has two arms that you glue in place, and a nifty backpack which is going to be blue tacked in place while I prime, and then we'll take off a separate painting. The old sniper guy, let's get him in focus.
was dead easy. Just this left arm, which is going up and touching the control on the top of his scope. He's really smart. He had also a sword to super glue. The fact that they've got rifles in this is interesting. The starter set comes with the instructions, but they are very, very basic, and it's just like, you know, not a pamphlet, but a small booklet. You can get a rules book that has got all the history and the lore and everything, and I'm going to be buying that because this does look an awful lot of fun, and it looks like an interesting universe to enter. So that's him. And then this guy was the worst to put together. For some reason, his head wouldn't stay on, and then his arms wouldn't stay on, and I got super glue all over me. That's really the time to have some accelerator. Anyway, he's on, Mr. Fancyhat. They're all on their bases. What I'm going to do now is spray them in grey primer, but then instead of going over with white primer, which is what I normally do, these models I'm going to be using mainly speed paints with, partly because it speeds things up, but also some of them can be very bright and vibrant, which is what I want all these guys to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray these in grey primer, and then I'm going to heavily dry brush with white to give a contrast, which will aid the speed paints. So I'll come back with them in grey and white.
Well, doing that has really made the details pop. I don't know why I've done it on the flesh, because I always use a regular flesh tone, not a contrast. And metals, I never use a contrast. But for his clothes, what little he is wearing, yeah, that's fine. That's good. And this little chap already. Look at that for detail. This mister. I've already got an idea what I'm going to do colour-wise with him. Yeah, and this guy, I mean, he's all metallics apart from his shoulder pads and his hat. So that's the only bit I've done the process on there. Okay, so the skin tone is on. That's flayed one skin rather than like Cadian flesh tone or anything like that. I found with small figures, it's quite a nice regular skin tone, flayed one flesh. Okay, and this has been washed with Reichland flesh tone, watered down. So that's given me this, which I'm happy with. Maybe a tiny little bit of highlighting once I've picked out the eyes and the mouth. We'll see how we get on. So that's also true with him. All right. And the Baron. But I'm going to see, once I've picked out that outrageous moustache and the eyes and the mouth, whether I should do more. The Baron, as you can see, his suit of armour I've based in lead belcher, and soon I'm going to put on mithril to make it really bright, because this is going to be coloured armour. The only question is what colour, and Mumin and I are in between two shades. One colour is going to be the body, and the other one's going to be the hat. But which way round, you will find out shortly. Well, you already know because you'll have seen the photo that accompanies this video. The other thing is there is more cloth than I thought. It's not all a suit of armour. His clothing goes down to here. Basically, on his arms, he's got this thing protecting his elbows, and he's got this piece protecting his forearm, and he's wearing gloves. On the legs, it's only the very front that's armoured. On the top and on his calves, it is enclosed. So and now, after painting all that lead belch, I'm now going to pick out just the metallic bits in mithril. And yeah, this colour scheme I like doing on figures this size, flayed one flesh. But unless you're going to do a demon or something like I'm currently doing here, unless you're doing a demon, it doesn't look too good on larger regular human figures. So what I've done here is, this is, get it right, Cadium flesh tone washed with Reichland flesh shade, and I've just dry brush in back up, and I'm going to lighten it and lighten it and lighten it. This is going to have much more in the way of colour to it than the others. And also, you know, you've got to make all the characters distinct from each other. All right, so he's got a far warmer, deeper, richer skin tone than the others. So I'll come back with the flesh tones on, and maybe some colours on the outfits. Speed paints really are called speed paints for a reason, aren't they? I've cracked right on, as you can see. Now, colour choice wise, I've looked at images of old Flintlock here, and a lot of the times he's very, very bright, but I figure him being a sniper and all, he's got to be rather subdued in colours. So I've used this green, which is quite bright, but still quite muted, if you see what I mean. And I've seen people do it, so he's got like patchwork on his sleeves, or his sleeves are different because you've got a lot of stitch in there, but I'm going to keep him all one colour, all right, apart from his boots, which are going to be orange. As you can see, I've painted his metallics. Again, I'm not going colourful with his metallics. This is a sniper. So he's underway. The eyes are nice and dark, and I think I'm going to keep it like that. He looks quite sinister just with dark eyes like that. That's just the Reichland flesh shade which pulled in there. All right, so that's Flintlock. Now, the most further along the line is Eric, and him being a squire, I figure he's not going to be garishly painted either. So I've just used 2 shades of green for his clothes, yellow for his sleeves, and yellow for a patch there. Still amazed by the detail in the face. He's ready to go apart from the eyes, and I'm not looking forward to that. And then I've got to do the hair, all right, and his wooden sword. His backpack I'm doing separately off to one side, and there's not a lot to show there, so I ain't going to show it. This guy, as you can see, I've brought the colours right up, and I've been darkening the recesses because he's got a lot of recesses, and just finishing off his chainmail and doing his little slippers. And I know what I'm doing colour wise here, even though I've done the highlighting thing there. I'm going to block that in with Mephiston red. He's going to have a red cloak. He's going to have a red codpiece. Not sure about the trim on the bottom of his little chainmail shorts. And he's going to have red inset to his little slippers, I think. So he's coming along. He's a lot of fun. And yeah, this is going to be the brightest guy, of course, the Baron. And as you can see, the lead belcher I've now highlighted in mithril silver, so he's lovely and shiny. Now I'm going to put on a colour, so when I come back, everyone's going to be far more colourful and Moonstone like. Not a huge amount of progress on Flintlock. He's got his orange booties now, and I've also decided that this stand for his rifle is going to be wooden, all right, just in wooden, like bamboo sections. What else have I got? It's not very interesting, but that's the rear of Eric's backpack, which I'm painting up. Yeah, he's got something in there like a bag. He's got a bedroll there. He's got a helmet there. He's got a sword there. He's got a cup there. So I've just got to do all the strapping on all of these, and they'll be ready, and then I can flip him over and do the other side. The friar isn't so much looking like a friar, more like Emperor Nero or something, but this is a friar with delusions of grandeur, all right? Yeah, he's got a red cloak. This is Mephiston red, which I've put on. I'm going to start putting washes on and darken it down. I've picked out his codpiece in white, ready for the red that's going on there, and I've decided he's going to have purple velvet for his gold slippers. This is a friar who is a real fancy pants, all right? Talking about fancy pants, the true fancy pants is the Baron, and here we are in a very fetching suit of armour that he's got, all right? And what I've used for that is a colour. I hit on this idea when I was doing my Slanesh Keeper of Secrets. I wanted things to be metallic but also quite beautiful, and I hit on the idea of using coloured contrast paints over to give you this metallic-y effect, and I thought it worked quite well on my Slanesh, and I've also used it on my Seraphon models, and that is Citadel's Achillean green, all right? It's not really a green, it's more of a turquoise, isn't it? So that's good. What I'm going to do now is do the boring bits, which is regular chainmail. Oh, by the way, I seem to have lost his sword. I don't know where it's gone, but it was on there and it's pinged off. But no matter. Everyone's going to be looking at his lovely hat, aren't they? Oh, I've done his moustache, as you can see as well. I'm umming and ahhing about whether I should dare try and pick his eyes out, but we'll see. So, yeah, next step, just the regular metals for his chainmail. And as I say, it's only part armour. So you can see I've started blocking in where his the rest of his clothes are going to go, all right? So I'm either going to come back with that they are all blocked in white, or I would have moved one step further to the end and got some extra colours in. Not far off with this fella, just got to put the chain up and over his cloak, finish off his purple slippers, and put pupils in those eyes. Then the friar will be done. Flintlock, he's almost done as well. Got to pick that eye out because I haven't painted that one. I don't know if it's been sculpted that way, but I decided not to put an eyeball in there, but I think he is actually squinting because that eye is definitely open. This is snakebite leather for his cap, but it's very shiny, isn't it? I'm not sure if I'm keen on that, but yeah, getting there with him. And all right, Squire, done his headband. I didn't realise he had a headband till I saw a photo online. As you can see, I've stuck the shield on. This is a work in progress. I've got an image to put on there. Just got to paint the strap-ins, weather the strap-ins, and got to put his eyes in. And then, yeah, Mr. Fancy Pants, it's nearly there. I just got to do his eyes, darken in the eye sockets and pick them out. And as you can see, his undergarments are red. And I'm going to do that. That's contrast. That's Blood Angel's red, and but I'm using regular reds for his gloves. And I found his found his scabbard. Hooray! So that's just glued on. I've got to paint that, and also his holster because he's got a pistola as well. And then yeah, I'm going to finish off once all that's done. Finish off with the thing that he's known for.
And there we go. My very first set of Moonstone figures are done. I finished them off with these flowers. I got them off of Amazon. I can't remember the name of the party that sold them, but you get quite a few different colours, and they're rather large, and the glue sticks very, very well. With the Baron, I initially had the plants between his legs, but then I thought, no, I'd rather still like to see his nifty little pointy boots. So it was a heck of a job to actually remove it, but I left some just there, so he's got some yellow flowers just here, right? And yeah, very pleased how these have all come out. I think I said before, I don't think, I mean, moving on, I'm going to do more of these figures. Getting shot, Baron. He's so fancy, he goes out of focus. I'm going to do more of these figures. Of course I am. In fact, I've got my first of the expansion sets or figures just arrived this morning. But before I get to that, I've got to do the goblins. And I do think the faction that is all to do with goblins and trolls, that's the way I'm going to be going. You get some nifty pirate goblins wearing an octopus for a hat, and that appeals to me more than the human ones. I mean, these are very characterful, aren't they? And they're great fun, but my mind is drawn to the goblin side of things. I don't even know if I'm going to be doing the fairy folk. I'd like to do the tree folk, the Ents, etc., etc. But these are a really good start. I've really enjoyed them, coming off of the back of Trench Crusade, to actually do characters that are smiling or, you know, rather fun. And it's been interesting to lighten up my colour choices, but like in the case of Flintlock, still having a bit of a nod to the Trench Crusade grimdark style. So been really good fun. Stay tuned as I record this. The goblins, the 4 goblins that you get in the starter set, I'm pretty much done. So before long, they'll be coming along, and then yeah, it'll be onwards with the other figures. So yeah, please stay tuned.